Will WWE Executive Chairman Vince McMahon be at Night of Champions later on today in Saudi Arabia? Plenty of details on that, plus details surrounding the premium live event set to take place later on today. Jordynne Grace is set to leave Impact Wrestling. Could she be set to sign with WWE? Jimmy Uso refers to himself as the Tribal Chief on SmackDown last night, drawing the ire of the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. What is the backstage reaction to LA Knight's popularity in Saudi Arabia? Money in the Bank qualifiers have been announced for next week's edition of SmackDown, and Austin Theory retains his United States Championship. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of world wrestling entertainment. Before we start though, remember today we will be doing a live Night of Champions watch along and post show. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, keep an eye out because the stream will be going up soon and you'll be able to set yourself a reminder. Join us, watch Night of Champions with myself, with the Wrestling News 365 community. Plus, if you do want to join the WN365 roster, you can do so. Click the join button. In addition to that, some members content is going up today. We're going to be doing a rewatch of Night of Champions or Vengeance Night of Champions 2007, the main event, which was a 5-way match for the WWE Championship. We're going to be rewatching that main event today. That's going to be going up as well. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and be sure to join the WN365 roster. Let's get into today's WWE news stories and talk about Vince McMahon and if he will be in Saudi Arabia for the latest premium live event. It was recently reported that Vince McMahon and Triple H are both approaching the subject of WWE creative from different perspectives. With McMahon being instrumental in the long-term deal between WWE and Saudi Arabia, it might be expected that he would have a hands-on involvement in the upcoming premium live event. PW Insider has provided details stating that an office had been set up for the WWE Executive Chairman at the venue in Jeddah, although it was now expected that he wouldn't be at the show. The show will be headed up by Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque, with Kevin Dunn also reportedly on location for the event. It was recently revealed that Vince McMahon was still in charge of WWE following the deal with Endeavor due to a stipulation in the negotiation process. Now, when it comes to this event, Saudi Arabia's Night of Champions, Triple H has actually revealed some very interesting tidbits about how fast the tickets have been sold for this show. WWE Night of Champions from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia is obviously taking place today with 3 main event matches scheduled, including about to crown a brand new and inaugural WWE World Heavyweight Champion. It promises to be a massive event, so massive in fact that in a press conference leading up to the show, Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque was able to boast about how quickly tickets had sold for the show. Quote, "The momentum and interest in WWE, obviously here in Saudi Arabia, continues to grow and grow, and that is something that we are very excited about," he said. Night of Champions proved to be the fastest selling event here in the history of us coming to Saudi Arabia, so thank you to all of you. Levesque didn't stop his thanks there, making sure to mention the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, as well as Crown Prince Mohammed bin Samad Al Saud. Night of Champions marks the 9th major event WWE has held in Saudi Arabia since the Greatest Royal Rumble in April 2018. And Levesque was sure to thank the General Entertainment Authority, GEA, as well, noting that without their efforts, none of this would be possible. From there, it was all about hyping up, obviously, the big show, bringing up Crown Jewel and Riyadh last November. Levesque referenced Logan Paul's top rope plunge to the outside of the ring, which the social media megastar filmed himself performing. That video caught fire, racking up more than 53 million views, and Levesque promised that today would be just as entertaining. "You are in for a night just like that," he declared. "You are in for a night that will make history." Now, more international premium live events are also coming to WWE following the success of Clash at the Castle and Backlash, and with Money in the Bank coming soon, WWE have more international premium live events to come. WWE Clash at the Castle took place in September 2022 and was the first live televised event from the UK since 1992's SummerSlam. According to reports after the event, Cardiff, the show had a live gate of $8 million. Following Backlash on May 6, it was revealed that the Puerto Rico event had become WWE's highest grossing and most viewed Backlash in company history, although it isn't until July 1st, 2023, the pre-sale allocation of tickets for Money in the Bank at the O2 Arena sold out in just 3 minutes. All of this international success has had an impact on WWE's thinking, with reports that WWE plan to hold a premium live event in India this September. And then there's the ongoing deal with Saudi Arabia, as we mentioned, that sees Night of Champions taking place today. Nick Khan has now addressed the plans for the International Premium Live Event calendar during the JP Morgan Global Technology and Media and Communications Conference, saying, quote, "We're in conversations now with a lot of international cities about doing 2024 shows there. Also, part of the intent is to match up with our media rights, even if they're not up to the over-deliver for the incumbent partners, who can then invite their partners in the international city to the event and host them. It's good for our overall business." The WWE CEO's comments came as part of discussion into countries offering subsidiaries into large-scale WWE events. It had previously been reported that Puerto Rico had paid WWE $1.5 million to bring Backlash to their country. Now let's switch gears here and talk a little bit about Impact Wrestling, a bit of a diversion from WWE, but some big news coming out of Impact Wrestling that could potentially feature WWE in the future, and that is that former Knockouts World Champion Jordynne Grace is now a free agent. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, Jordynne Grace is finishing up with Impact Wrestling for the time being. Fightful Select had reported that Grace's deal with Impact Wrestling was set to expire in May, and they have now confirmed that she is indeed exiting the company for the time being. Grace has told Fightful that she's planning on taking some time off from pro wrestling to work on some outside projects. Her contract with Impact has actually already expired, and she dropped an Impact Knockouts title match to Deonna Purrazzo at Under Siege. Fightful can confirm there has been interest in her from higher-ups of multiple companies, and there were indie promoters that asked if Fightful believed she'd return to that realm as well. Fightful have noted before that Grace has reached millionaire status, maybe not multi, but millionaire status with her exclusive content page as well. The 27-year-old Grace leaves Impact after 4.5 years, where she became Impact Knockouts Tag Team, and Digital Media Champion. She's been wrestling over a decade despite her age, and recently competed in a bodybuilding tournament, and she's competed in powerlifting after that. Quote, "I'll be back somewhere at some point," Grace told Fightful. So as to where she goes next, what she does next, she said she's going to be taking some time off for the time being, but where do you think Jordynne Grace could go? Could she go to WWE? Could she go to AEW? Is that unlikely given the way that her husband had fallen out with Tony Khan in his exit, Jonathan Gresham from the company? What are your thoughts? Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. Switching gears back to WWE, SmackDown was last night. Of course, it was taped last week, but the bloodline continues to implode, and a former honorary Uso is loving every second of it. On Friday SmackDown, the Usos interrupted a KO show segment that was originally planned for Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, the two men who will challenge Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships at Night of Champions. Upon storming past Paul Heyman, the Usos asked Owens and Zayn to explain their actions from the previous week, where the champions cost the Usos a match against the LWO. That loss further heightened the ongoing tension between Reigns and the Usos, which was once again palpable Friday as the Usos refused to engage in conversation with the tribal chief in a backstage segment. During the KO show segment, Owens admitted that Zayn was right all along about Reigns and the Usos had not been treated justly by their cousin. Roman Reigns calls himself the head of the table, right? "As far as I'm concerned, you guys are the heart of the table," Owens told the Usos. "But that's not how he treats you, is it? He treats you like the appendix of the table. He treats you like you're disposable." Owens then referred to the Usos as the greatest tag team in WWE history, which propelled Jimmy to make a shocking proclamation. "When it comes to day ones, I am the tribal chief," Jimmy said, much to the shock of everyone in the ring, including Heyman. At this point, Reigns walked down the ring and stared down Jimmy, who refused to make eye contact with his cousin. That moment gave Zayn the perfect opportunity to poke the bear. "Hey Roman, you know it's over, right?" Zayn asked Reigns, suggesting the bloodline was on its last legs. The segment spilled over into a brawl as the Usos helped Reigns and Sikoa take out Owens and Zayn. The show went off the air with Jimmy reluctantly handing over the tag titles to Reigns as the bloodline posed together. But what does this mean for Night of Champions this evening? Of course, we'll have to wait out to the premium live event to see what happens. LA Knight. Now, if you watched the press conference yesterday, you would have seen that LA Knight is not just popular in the US, he's not just popular in the UK, he's popular globally, and he's particularly popular in Saudi Arabia. After a chant of one WWE star interrupted Triple H at yesterday's Night of Champions press conference in Jeddah, there's a latest report on his status. Earlier yesterday at the Night of Champions press conference in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, the festivities had barely kicked off when the excited crowd took the opportunity to let Triple H know directly who who they hope to see at Night of Champions. The crowd interrupted the game's introduction by a thunderous chant of LA Knight. Yeah! According to the report from WRKD Wrestling on Twitter, the massively positive reception to LA Knight from fans worldwide, and most recently in Jeddah, have not gone unnoticed from WWE management. WRKD wrote, quote, "The crowd reactions to LA Knight haven't gone unnoticed. As we mentioned last month, while nothing is concrete, Knight's name has been tossed around as a potential Money in the Bank winner. Elsewhere in conversation around Money in Bank potentials from the same account, other names have come up regarding the match. Some people saying Cody Rhodes could be involved, Dominic Mysterio could be involved. Of course, we'll have to wait and see. But LA Knight, maybe, just maybe, he might be involved in the event tonight in Jeddah and give the fans certainly what they want." Speaking of Money in the Bank, some qualifying matches have been announced next week for SmackDown involving the aforementioned LA Knight. Announced on last night's pre-taped edition of SmackDown in advance of the upcoming premium live event Night of Champions, qualifying matches for another upcoming big event. Montez Ford will be taking on LA Knight in the first qualifying match for the men's ladder match. Over on the women's side of things, a return to action for one WWE star. The women's Money in the Bank qualifying match was announced to be Lacey Evans taking on Zelina Vega for a shot and making it to the titular ladder match set for July in London, England. Elsewhere on SmackDown, AJ Styles, of course, vowed to leave Jeddah by becoming the WWE World Heavyweight Champion at the premium live events. And I guess, again, we'll have to wait and see if indeed that does happen. And you can join me on the watch long and post show later on this evening. Finally, Austin Theory. I guess there isn't going to be a US Championship match at Night of Champions because it took place last night on SmackDown, or rather last week when it was actually taped. Now, Pretty Deadly have gotten the last laugh over the Brawling Brutes for now. During SmackDown on Friday night, Sheamus looked to be closing in on becoming the new United States Champion, and after delivering 25 beats of the Baron to Austin Theory, it was only a matter of time until he was going to connect with the Bro Kick. That's when Elton Prince and Kip Wilson suddenly appeared ringside, taking out Butch and Ridge Holland before distracting Sheamus just long enough for Theory to roll him up with a handful of tights. It should be noted that Pretty Deadly's interference may have had less to do with helping Theory and more to do with getting another one over on Butch and Holland. Since being drafted to SmackDown from NXT on May 1st, Pretty Deadly have wasted little time in making a splash, primarily at the expense of the Brutes. They defeated Butch and Holland in their SmackDown debut last week, only to be attacked on the SmackDown Lowdown by Butch the following day. What better way to get payback than costing the leader of the Brutes a chance to win the United States Championship? So, is this the beginning of a faction between Austin Theory and Pretty Deadly? Probably not. Most likely not. Again, it's probably just a continuation of the feud between the Brawling Brutes and Pretty Deadly. But I guess you never know when it comes to stables nowadays in WWE. But there you go, guys. That's the latest WWE news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. And I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.